It's time. Without further ado, let's get to it, folks. This is a fun one. We're looking forward to having her on the show. You know her right now from Impact Wrestling. She's going to be in contest this Sunday morning, June 25th, at the Rec Room in Toronto, facing Ali Catch at a no DQ match. Smash Wrestling and Femme Fatale puts on Girls Next Door. Go and check it out. I will be there. So in the meantime, let's bring her on. The one, the only, Jody Threat joins us now. Hi, Jody. How are you?
Good morning. It is morning, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Last I checked, it's sunny here. I'm in Toronto, so it's beautiful here today.
Good.
Let's get right to it. You've got a match with Ali Catch, a no DQ match. I've seen you attack those before. What's different with Ali Catch in a no DQ match? Because she can also go in those situations.
See, the challenge here is that if anyone has followed my career, Ali Catch, formerly Ali Cat, was my tag team partner. So I feel like she knows my ins and outs. And so I think that might cause a bit of trickiness. So there's that. Not to mention, her career lately has been very hardcore, if you will. So I think this might be a bit more challenging than it normally is based on those things.
I have to ask about your shirt because I just caught it of what is the meaning behind this shirt?
This shirt is of one of my favorite bands. Check them out. They're pretty dang good. Yeah. Coxbar.
There you go. All right. Well, now everybody can
That's
go.
your homework, everyone. Everyone go home, go on whatever your music thing is and check out Coxbar. A+ band.
What kind of music do they do?
I like punk.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. Thank you for clarifying that what the shirt means. You recently signed with Impact Wrestling. How have you found your time with Impact thus far?
Oh, it's amazing. What a neat locker room. I've said it a few times now. You go in there like it's, when you're on the indies, you're a bit of like a big fish in a little pond, and then you go into TV and you're literally a little minnow in this ocean. So it can be overwhelming, but from day one, everyone has just been so welcoming. And you really feel like people want you to succeed. So honestly, like I have nothing bad to say, only positive raving reviews for Impact. And I just feel so lucky that I have the opportunity to work for this company.
One thing that is a little bit different in Impact versus everywhere else you've been is you're getting a little more involved with backstage vignettes and things like that. How has that been for you, kind of jumping into that new scene when it comes to television wrestling?
I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not very good at acting per se, so that has been a little awkward. I am a unionized actor. I was in like this show before, but it was very much based on like a character that was awkward and sporty, which is basically me. So this has definitely been a new experience. Obviously, you do promos and everything in the indies, but it is definitely a little different when you're, putting out a scene where different elements and different things are involved. And I'm sure you could probably see my awkwardness in there, but it's not supposed to be.
But it's something that it comes with the reps, right? It's like wrestling. It's like training, right? You get more comfortable as you go. Or am I totally off base?
No, I think you're right. And I've been actually looking into like maybe some acting lessons. I'm also based in Toronto, so as you know, there's like a huge scene with like lots of opportunities. So that's actually been my homework for myself this last few weeks, is looking up where I can maybe go and learn, a few tricks of the trade or get those reps, maybe some improv or something, just to get out of your head. Because I think part of it is like you're just like you feel weird because you're acting out. You're like, this is not me, but I have to act like it is me. Like this is not necessarily what like Jody G would do. This is maybe what Jody Threat would do, and just working through those weird feelings that you have.
Have you gotten any advice from anybody backstage about how to kind of be more portraying yourself a little bit in those vignettes, but then acting in those vignettes? Because they have Jimmy Jacobs. I know he just left there, but he was a big did very well when it came to that and the backstage vignettes. And they have a lot of people back there who have done this for a very long time. So anybody giving you advice on that end?
So I haven't had too many reps yet, but there was like one in particular that I did in like a stairwell, and Jimmy Jacobs was the one that was directing that. And he gave me some words, but it was more just like telling me to get out of my head and like, it's fine. Like, we're here to make this work. And he just really making you feel comfortable. Because like I said, very, very awkward for me. But I think I need a few more reps before I can really, like, a lot of the advice that I'm getting is more for my in-ring work. You know, I think I've had like maybe 6 or 7 matches at this point versus like 1 vignette. So I'm sure the vignettes are coming, and I will be preparing myself, as I said.
One thing that you've done very happily so is portray a zombie in wrestling. Let's talk about Backyard Pro.
Listen, that was a demon, not a zombie, okay? Long live Nataz, which is Satan backwards. I don't know if anyone clocked that.
So what brought you to that whole thing? Because I mean, it was during the pandemic and a lot of things were going on, but like, how'd you feel? How did you get there? Talk to me about Backyard Pro.
So Von Vertigo was like the mastermind behind it, and he kind of hit up a few of us in Ontario that were, as you know, we were completely locked down. We couldn't even train. We couldn't even go to the gym. Like, it was insane, actually. And so following the rules of only having, you know, so many people in a space together, he really coordinated and put this project together. I miss it. Like, I hope he does another season. I know all of our schedules are so busy now, so maybe it's impossible. But what a really neat experience. And I found, interestingly enough, that was very like acting oriented. I found that way easier to do versus like Jody Threat. And I think that was because it was literally not human. And so if you notice too, like, people that know me, like a few of Nataz's quirks were actually like my actual quirks. So it was like very easy, and just walking around going, you know, like this very, very me. But yeah, Von Vertigo does not get enough credits for that sweet project. And again, if anyone has not seen it, please check it out. It's on YouTube. There was like a few seasons. It was a lot of fun, and you'll see a lot of the Ontario folk in there playing different characters. Yeah, such a cool project.
What we're saying is Jody Threat in the Undead Realm coming soon to Impact Wrestling.
Bro, let's pitch it. I'll pitch it.
Listen, as the guy who's going to talk about Impact every week on this channel, I would relish the opportunity to talk about Jody in the Undead Realm. I'm just saying. Speaking of which, I know you guys are headed to Atlanta this Friday and Saturday it's for Impact Summer Sizzler. What's on the card for Jody Threat? I'm not telling you to spoil me anything, but like, what's the impact for Jody this coming weekend in Atlanta?
Without having too many details given, Jody will go there and kick some butt. We'll say that. I'm coming all revved up. I'm ready to go. Fired up, guys.
Part of the Girls Next Door show and being an all-women show, and you know, you're wrestling Alley Catch, and there's a lot of great female independent talent on the scene. Who are some names to you that really stand out?
On the show or in general?
In general, both can be on the show, or yeah, in general.
Maybe I'm biased, but anyone on like the Impact roster, like, that really stands out to me. But looking at that show is stacked on its own. Again, like, Alley Catch is one of the biggest names on the indies right now. We got Trisha Dora, which is sweet. Vanessa Craven is back after that awful injury. She's awesome. And there's a bunch of like young talents coming up as well. So yeah, like, I would say like the show's actually done a pretty good job at capturing like some really good talents that are floating around the scene right now. So kudos to them.
Let's go to Girls Next Door. Your match with Alley is one thing. It's a no DQ match, like we said. Allie's known for bringing certain weapons of her own, including a knife.
Oh, God. I forgot about that.
No, now we're putting it on the radar.
Oh, no.
What's Jody's weapon of choice when you get into a no DQ match?
Listen, guys, I normally don't do these kinds of matches. So really, there's nothing that I am known for. What I'm known for is surviving. So whatever is to my disposal, I will use. Whether that be, you know, a fan's can of beer, to a chair that they might be sitting on. Maybe I could dig around and find some sort of table or door, but like there is no choice because I don't typically run into these situations.
We gotta
These things, guys, these are my choices. Mike 1 and Mike 2, let's go.
Once upon a time, it would be, you know, there would be a skateboard, but now things are different.
Yeah, I retired then. That was my mode of transportation. It just was useful for violence when it needed to come about. But good call. Maybe I should pack my skateboard. I didn't even think of that.
Once upon a time, I watched you at A1 in Hamilton, and your board, it got used for something, and for some reason, it just rolled right up to my feet, and I was like, "This is awkward. What are we doing here?" So, I thought, I was just like, "How are we going to get this back to her?" Thankfully, someone came and grabbed it, but it was one of those moments where I was just like, "Is she going to use this thing more often, or what?"
So funny, maybe like you said, you've inspired me, and for you specifically, I will make sure I pack my board this weekend.
My goodness.
Can you hit Joel Pearl with the board?
I think that's assault, unless it's in a ring, and I'm not trying to get arrested, guys.
I'll jump
just
in
got
the ring.
a working visa, guys. I need to be able to cross the border. Now, if Joel wants to get into the ring and give me consent, then perhaps.
There we go, Joel. There, I got you a booking, Joel. Another one. I got you another booking.
I don't think that the show on Sunday is catered for me. But Jody, I know that you've worked other shows that are all women's shows. One that I'll bring up is the Summit in 2019.
Wow.
So and that was a show that, you know, was a lot of fun for a lot of different reasons, and gives shows like Girls Next Door more merit, more credit. What's it like when you're working in a show like this where it's all women, all the spotlight? What's the locker room like? What's the vibe?
It's cool because in wrestling you meet a lot of people, and then, you know, a lot of us don't live in the same place, so we don't get to see our friends very often. And as you know, the reality is that a lot of the locker rooms do not have enough females in them. Sure, you'll have a few, but you're going to get majority guys. So it's nice when you have an opportunity for the girls that you've met in your journeys to all kind of collect in one area, and you're getting to see people that you haven't seen in quite a while. So like there's that. There's also often like a feeling of like we got let's effing go. This is a PG show, right? I can't say the F word.
No, you could say it.
You could say it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go is the vibe. So there's that, and it's just it's like a sense of empowerment. So I always speak so fondly of Shimmer. I'm so lucky that I got to at least experience it a few loops, because now Prazak has kind of put it to the side. So we don't get that, like, you know, like twice a year sort of thing where we get to come together and see each other and work really hard together. So it's just, it really is nice when a quality company will put together something like this and spend the money to bring in girls from all around so that we can see each other.
What's it like just wrestling, being back in Canada? I know you're in Canada for Impact, but Independence, I haven't been there for a couple months now. So being back in Canada, just wrestling in Canada in general, because it has become such a big hotbed for wrestling.
Yeah. You got cut out so hard that I didn't even hear the question.
Apologies, my internet.
Canada.
Yes, Canada. Wrestling in Canada, it being a hotbed for wrestling. What's the feeling like when you're wrestling in front of the Canadian crowds?
Oh, I love it. Coast to coast. Like, I've been really lucky in the last little while where I've had like literally bookings in Halifax straight over to like Vancouver. So it's awesome. And it's kind of like a sense of pride that you get to wrestle in front of like your people, if you will, and to like show like how much you've grown over the last few years. Yeah, I love it. And the crowds are wild and so supportive. And like, obviously I'm born and raised in Toronto. So whenever I get to wrestle in Toronto, I get super hyped because I really feel that hometown love. And I think that a part of my personality is that I do represent Toronto and like, you know, someone that grows up in Toronto, especially in my era. So I feel like people actually like recognize that and give me that like extra love, because anytime I'm home. It's just so loud for me, which is really cool. It's loud everywhere, which is awesome. Canada's great, but there's just something special about like your hometown.
There's a place where you've wrestled recently that is not very loud, and that's in a museum in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah.
You had a match.
It's actually very loud.
Talk to me about this, because I remember hearing about this show going on. It was called Fight at the Museum, and it's Winnipeg Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
You were the women's champion. Are you still their women's champion?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so talk to me about this match, fighting in museum. As we start to kind of wind down on this conversation here, I want to hear about this.
Okay, well, I'm glad that we have an opportunity to speak about Winnipeg Pro, because I hope that everyone goes and checks them out. This is my second home, and truly, I only call it my second home because I'm still living in Toronto. But I love this promotion, and I love what they're doing. They really do just want it to be inclusive, and they do everything they can to make it feel welcoming to everyone that's there, whether it be talent or fans. The fans too are like a different breed. They're wild, they're loyal, and I love them, and they're so invested. So they've been building for the last few years, and they got an opportunity to go to the museum in Winnipeg, which was even like a bigger room. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's a bigger room than their normal venue, which they normally sell out literally in like 20 minutes. So they'll release their tickets the day of the show, the show that's happening for the next show. And like within like 20 minutes, like they're always sold out. So I guess it was like a sweet opportunity to prove to them that, like, look, you can also sell out this museum. And it was just like a really cool opportunity. And like I said, although maybe the rules are to be quiet at a museum, we were not quiet, let me tell you. Silesia is wild. She tried to kill me. It was nuts. But I succeeded. And yeah, keep your eyes on them, because actually in the fall, they just booked like a big ass venue out in Winnipeg. And I'm pretty sure like they just dropped the tickets, and I'm pretty sure they're probably almost sold out. Like that's how very sick they are. Love it there.
You mentioned earlier about, using maybe a beer can or a fan's beer and then as a weapon, and then there's also a photo of you and Willow Nightingale sharing drinks during a match. So I have to ask, what is Jody Threat's beverage choice?
Oh, well, it really depends. When I am relaxing in a hotel lounge, it will be a filthy gin martini, not like a dirty, not filthy. I want all the olive juice. When I'm out, it's usually honestly like something simple, like a Jameson. I'm a whiskey drinker. But when I'm wrestling, my fuel 100% is beer. So like I said, I would use it as a weapon, but really often it's how I hydrate during my matches.
Just any beer, just grab it and just hope it's good.
Whatever's available to me. I'm not picky.
I respect that. I respect that.
My question before my last question.
Yeah.
We'll do it in succession. When's the last time you went to the Bovine?
I was there with actually Trent Seven, like when he was in town last, so like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Wild. I used to love that place.
I still love it. It's great. And whenever I have one of the homies in town, that's one of my stops. Like there we go to, obviously, Sneaky D's, and there's a few other, but those are like the two like classic ones. Fun fact, I've done a door girl job there before wrestling Jody, which was interesting a few times.
I worked the door there too once or twice.
Oh, really? Oh,
cool. When my hair was longer and I was playing metal in band. So there you go.
I love it.
Hasn't changed. My last question for you as we wind this down, your Impact Wrestling dream match. Who do you want to get in the ring with? Because so far you haven't you've had a bunch of matches, but it's been a lot of different talent, a lot of enhancement talent, and of course Alicia Edwards. So who's on the list? Who do you really want to face in Impact?
This has been my answer even before I got to Impact. My dream match that I've been dying for years is Deanna. Give me Deanna, please.
I'm all about it. So come and catch Jody Threat and the stars of Impact Wrestling first in Atlanta this coming. Was it Friday and Saturday?
Yep.
Go check that out, Summer Sizzler. And if you want to come and see Jody live at Girls Next Door, that is on Sunday morning, June 25th at the Rec Room in Toronto, 11:30 a.m. start. After that show, there's Smash Wrestling versus Defy Wrestling. If you want to get a combo ticket, go to smash-wrestling.com. Tickets are still available. The shows are happening in the afternoon so that you can walk on over 5 minutes to the Scotiabank Arena and check out AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door. Jody, please go ahead, plug anything you have left, and let's get out of here.
Oh my God, go to Jody Threat, Jody Threat, and that's at Instagram or Twitter. Please follow me, like my stuff, like it all, buy my merch.
Jody, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good
Thank
luck
you, Jody.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Amazing.
Take care.
Thank you, Jody. Have
Thank
a
you.
good weekend.
Yes, you too.